There's an environmental document that tries to lure you into installing a malicious backdoor.
Hey Joe, so I understand you're looking into a story about the Felixroot malware backdoor and it's resurfaced?
Yeah, so in September of last year, FireEye found Felixroot as a backdoor delivering a payload targeting Ukrainian banks. And now it's come up more recently as part of a environmental protection email campaign. So, it's the same backdoor, the same file, the same content within the attachment, but it's sort of a new targeted area. It's Russian language, so it's targeted potentially at Russian-speaking individuals. But so it's the same Felixroot backdoor. This backdoor can do fingerprinting of systems. It can potentially drop and execute more malware. It could do remote shell or potentially even exfiltration. So pretty powerful, vulnerability here, kind of a weaponized attachment situation. Both of the Microsoft Office vulnerabilities have been patched. FireEye in their research, points to the fact that their tool would have caught this, of course. Right. But the patches are out there, so it's another one similar to the the Oracle one we mentioned, where the patches have been there and the vulnerability is not brand new. It's just a matter of people protecting themselves. So
the interesting thing to me about it is that they're actually using weaponized Word docs, trying to exploit vulnerabilities that allow once you open the document file, to install the malware immediately without the user taking any action. You'll get a Word document, you'll open it up, and it'll have like a big arrow pointing at the top that says, in order to see the rest of this document, enable scripting at the top, and you have to explicitly enable it. So what they were doing is actually trying to exploit some vulnerabilities that allow that to happen automatically. If you're running an older version or an unpatched version of Microsoft Word, that would allow that to happen. So that's a little interesting. That's more advanced, so to speak, because you're actually trying to put a weaponized payload inside the document as opposed to coercing somebody or tricking them into clicking on it. And like you said, looks like they've transitioned from using a lure that was maybe some sort of fake banking document, right, to a fake environmental research or environmental impact type spams. Yeah. So maybe whoever they're targeting, maybe there's some reason for that, that they might feel like people would open those. If you get an email from someone you don't expect to get it from, probably just delete it. If it has an attachment, don't open it. Don't open attachments from people that in emails from people that you're not expecting to get. It sounds like this Felixroot toolkit sounds a lot like a RAT type of functionality, remote administration toolkit, so it's got a lot of that similar functionality. The FireEye report, I glanced through it, it's pretty detailed, it looks very good. They broke down all the functionality, the command and controls, what you should look for in terms of indicators. All the
parameters are, exactly which piece of which file is doing which, there's a link file, and then there's the actual backdoor file, and what each piece of it does. See, the FireEye blog post is
they show some C2 traffic too, so you can kind of get a sense of what how it might manifest in your network logs, because they do some interesting HTTP, but then they encrypt the payload, and then they base64 encode it and jam it into a regular HTTP session. So it's unusual. It's not normal HTML type going back and forth. So definitely, these types of things, there's a lot of these types of rats out there, but so keeping it on top of them, understanding whether or not they're in your network is an important thing, and this is a good one maybe to have your team look at and research to understand how these things might manifest from stage 0 all the way to opening the document, dropping an implant on the machine, and then the C2 action happening. So it's an interesting one to look at.
I agree. So the two vulnerabilities, the CVEs from Microsoft Office products have been patched. So this is another one where the patches are out there. You just got to go get them. You got to go patch Office. You want to protect yourself from this backdoor if at all possible.